Hi, welcome to Primetime Guitars. Today's lesson is called the 3-pedal steel licks you must know and the one that you don't. The 3 licks I picked that you must know are very traditional country pedal steel licks. They all have the same movement. If you know anything about theory, it's a suspended second being bent up to the third of the chord. If that's over your head, it's okay, not a problem. Request some theory videos. We'd love to explain that here at Primetime Guitar, maybe clear some of that up for you. But the lick that you don't need to know is a real challenge. It's a finger twister. It's kind of got an uncommon technique in it, but it's really great. So let's get started. Okay, so I call this lick the Tumbly Brumley. Tom Brumley was a pedal steel guitar player who played with Buck Owens in the 1960s and really contributed to that Bakersfield sound that was coming out of California with Buck Owens and Merle Haggard. So he gets the nod, the credit for this lick. I'll play the lick for you, and then I'll break it down. All right, so we're in the key of C. I'm starting here with my ring finger on the E string, 12th fret, and my middle finger on the 12th fret on the G string. And I'm going to be bending that shape, and I'm going to be plucking the 2 strings with my pick and my finger, the G and E string. I'm going to use the pick for the G string and my middle finger for the E string. I'll be plucking it like that. And I'm going to be bending this whole shape up. And the goal of bending this shape up is I want to bend the G string at the 12th fret up a whole step. And I want to bend the E string at the 12th fret up a half step, creating this. Those would be the 2 notes that I'm trying to bend to. And a good way to check your intonation with this is to bend it up like this, then check it with those fretted notes. It's close. So yeah, I'm taking those 2 shapes. I'm plucking the G string with my pick and the E string with my middle finger, and I'm bending it up. Now I'm going to slide down to the 7th fret, and I'm going to do the same thing with the bending. The bending stays the same. It's still trying to achieve this string up a whole step and the E string up a half step. I'm going to hit the strings twice, and when I hit the second time, I'm going to bend it up, creating this, which is a C chord. Checking my intonation, of course. So one more time, the whole lick. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I call this lick number 2, Everybody Steals. Call it that just because a lot of people play this lick. It's definitely one you should know. Keep in your bag of tricks. I'll play it slow for you. One more time. Okay, so what I'm doing there is I've got my pinky barring the B and E string at the 8th fret, and I've got my ring finger here at the 7th fret on the G string, and I'm going to use my pick and my middle and ring fingers to grab all 3 of those strings, and when I do that, I'm going to bend the G string up a whole step. Then I'm going to hit the E string, then the G string as it's still bent, then the B string, then the G string and release the bend, and then pull off to the 5th fret on the G string. So here it is slow. And then you can get really fast with it. It's a pretty cool lick to use in chicken picking, and move it around and do all kinds of cool stuff. It seems simple, but you can do the possibilities with this lick are endless, and the mutations are endless. So play around with it. I'm sure you'll come up with your own style, your own flavor of it, and that's the point. Let's move on to the next lick, lick number 3. Okay, so I call this lick Keith Country, just for the fact that I think it might be an intro to a Keith Urban song, vaguely. Or exactly, whatever you want to think. So I'll play it for you slow. One more time. Alright, so we're still in the key of C. Starts with my ring finger here on the 10th fret, and my pinky finger, the ring finger is on the A string at the 10th fret, my pinky finger is on the D string at the 10th fret, and my index finger is all the way back here at the 7th fret on the G string. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pick, my middle, and my ring fingers to hit all those strings. And I'm going to pull down with my index finger and pull that string, the G string, up a whole step. It's going to sound like that. Then I'm going to hit the G string again and release the bend. And then go, after I release the bend, D string, A string, D string. So here it is slow. And then I'm going to do that same thing again, the whole same pattern. Then one more time. And then I'm going to hit all the strings again and bend the G string up a whole step. Here it is, super slow motion. And then up to speed. All right, let's move on to the lick you don't need to know. All right, now for the lick that you don't need to know. I call this one Don't Try This at Home, and definitely not in front of pedal steel guitar players on stage. They don't like it when you steal their stuff. They get mad. So, what I'm doing here, I'll play the lick really slow for you first. One more time. So I'm starting here on the A string at the 15th fret with my ring finger, the D string at the 14th fret with my middle finger, and the G string at the 12th fret with my index finger. I'm going to play down the A string, the D string, and the G string. And I'm going to bend that G string down a whole step, and I'm going to catch that. I'm going to let that B string slide up underneath my index finger. And when it slides up underneath my index finger, like this, I'm going to hit it and then drag the G and B string back up into pitch, or as close as you can possibly get it. So the whole secret is letting that B string slide underneath this index finger. It's tough to get a hold of at first, but just sit down in front of the TV and practice letting it slide in there, and then hitting the B string and then pulling it back up into pitch. So again, that's my ring finger on the 15th fret of the A string, my middle finger on the 14th fret of the D string, and my index finger on the 12th fret of the G string. And the whole key is when you bend that G string down, letting that B string slide up underneath your index finger, and then hitting them both and pulling them up into pitch. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video of the 3 pedal steel licks that you must know and the one that you don't, presented by Primetime Guitars. If you have any questions or comments, song requests, or video requests, maybe you have some music theory questions or where to get started with music theory, you can put that down in the comments and we'll get right on it. As always, keep practicing, keep jamming, and don't forget to hit subscribe to Primetime Guitars.